Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Our history as a country was characterized by repression, violence, and bloodshed, which is why we consider diplomacy the best way to achieve peace, sustainable development, prosperity, and nationhood. Therefore, our government's philosophy and foreign policy remains firmly based on dialogue and peaceful means to the resolution of conflicts. We remain committed to finding and pursuing African solutions to all African problems. This we do in all platforms where we participate in, wherein we see our role as representing the voice and the interests of the whole of Africa. Such a posture is about mutually reinforcing cooperation on development issues than competing with the rest of our continent. We remain convinced that conflict stunts development, and it is a recipe for disaster. The conflict in the Tigray region, which has resulted in the fatalities, widespread displacement of many people, which is on the brink of famine, humanitarian crisis, has the potential to destabilize the entire continent. The role of South Africa, in line with our foreign policy objectives of a secure and a very conflict-free continent, was to host the talks after accepting the African Union's request to direct peace talks between the Ethiopian federal government and the Tigray People's Liberation Front following the outbreak of the conflict in November 2020. The mediated talks held on the 26th of October to the 2nd of November 2022 were facilitated by the African Union Special Envoys, led by former President of Nigeria, President Obasanjo, and supported by former President Uhuru Kenyatta and our former Deputy President Phumzile Mlambo-Ngcuka. South Africa welcomes this historic agreement reached between the Ethiopian government and the Tigray People's Liberation Front for a permanent cessation of hostilities, restoration of law and order, coordinated program of disarmament, demobilization and reintegration of the Tigray People's Liberation Front combatants into their National Defense Force. The parties intend implementing transitional measures that will include restoration of constitutional order in the Tigray region, a framework for the settlement of political differences, and a transitional justice policy framework to ensure accountability, truth, reconciliation, and healing. A committee chaired by the African Union will be established to monitor and verify implementation of the agreement. The committee will include representatives from government, Tigray People's Liberation Front, and the Intergovernmental Authority on Development in East Africa. It is our hope that the two parties will continue with negotiations and find common ground on all the outstanding issues in a spirit of reconciliation in order to reach a long-lasting political settlement, silence the guns, and put the country back on the path of peace, stability, and development. South Africa will therefore continue to work with the African Union as a member of the Peace and Security Council and share the country's expertise in conflict resolution and negotiation. Such assistance could be made available or facilitated by government itself or non-governmental organization in support of the African Union's mediation efforts. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.